Thank you to ICT for hosting this event. It's the first time I've been here. It's been an honor to work with the George Washington University, the program on extremism where I'm at, and in co-sponsoring this event. So thank you very much. A little bit about me. So my name is Seamus Hughes. I'm the Deputy Director of the Program on Extremism at George Washington University. There we track every Tom, Dick, and Harry who's ever thought about joining an extremist group. Prior to that, I was in the intelligence community for a few years, working on countering violent extremism issues. After a bomb goes off, they'd call me and I'd fly out and talk to community partners about ways that government and communities can work together or not work together to try to prevent the next bomb from going off. And before that, I spent a lot of time in Israel. I was Senator Lieberman's Counter-Terrorism advisor, so it's a pleasure to be back here. In many ways, we're in an interesting state of the threat. My colleague Devorah and I have been looking at this quite extensively in the last few months. In many ways, it's fractured. You have a number of different threat vectors, whether it be travelers who left in very large numbers in 2014-15 timeframe. You have tens of thousands of individuals in camps, basically running their own mini state right now. You've got returnees coming back, and the issue in terms of what to do with these individuals, especially as it comes to battlefield evidence. It's one thing to know someone's in ISIS, another thing to prove it. You have a number of individuals who were arrested during the rise of ISIS, and those prison sentences were relatively short, particularly in Europe. In the US, it's about 13 years. These individuals are getting out, and I don't think we've grappled with that coming wave. And then finally, we have a very changing online environment, particularly in the English language scene, where mainstream sites have largely cracked down on content, and they've been moved on to places like Telegram, which allows for a level of encryption. To talk about all of this, we've got a distinguished panel of guests that will run the gamut of the issues. I should note, I'm an American, our director, Lorenzo Vidino, is Italian, and so, we are basically very unorthodox. And so, for the nature of the morning, we might as well continue that way of doing things. So, we're going to co-moderate a little bit, and you'll see some questions, but I want this to be a conversation about the threat and to be dynamic in nature. Unfortunately, it's fitting to have this conversation on 9/11. 3,000 citizens from all over the world were killed. The issues that we talk about today are going to have ramifications for the next 18 years going on. And while ISIS may be defeated somewhat militarily, the ideology lives on nonetheless. So, just to kick off the panel, and I should note to my panelists, and I'm very sharp on this, 15 minutes tops. At some point you'll see me wave my hands in a very angry Irish American way, right? And that means you need to wrap it up, because I want to have a conversation and be able to have question and answers. So to kick off the panel, we have Dr. Levitt, who is the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. If you've been to this conference before, you know him quite well. His seminal work on Hezbollah and Homegrown Terrorism, this type of stuff that we have all read and digested. Prior to that, he was at the Treasury Department and the FBI, and today he's going to talk about the question of whether homegrown terrorism really is homegrown terrorism. And so, Matt?